Good morning, everyone, or good day, rather. It's 6/18, June 18th, 2013. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. And today we're going to talk some about terrorists and traitors, as the title goes. Over the weekend, or late last week at some point, Dick Cheney called Ed Snowden a traitor because he reached out and gave away some classified information about how many phone calls from how many people the government is collecting. It seems they're on the lookout for terrorists by checking all of our phone calls. Now, he only mentioned the one, but as it turns out, they've come across, they're checking with pretty much every phone company out there. You know, we want to know these thousands and hundreds of thousands of people's phone calls have been sent to the government, the NSA, and they're checking ostensibly for terrorists, you know, because we don't want another 911. Bob Schieffer, who used to be a pretty good reporter and who's now obviously in the government's pocket, you know, shared one too many martinis, did you there, Bob? He said that, you know, Edward Snowden is obviously a narcissistic young man. Whatever the hell narcissistic has to do with this, I don't know, because that means in love with thyself, because you're just so perfect. Actually, my belief is, and with more and more of this information coming out, that here's a young man who read the Constitution and believed it, and it says no unwarranted searches or seizures. And, okay, they got a warrant, or several, but come on. And then not to release the information. How many people have been arrested and accused simply because of these phone calls? I want to know. That's a hell of a lot of money. You know, your lawyers went in to get the warrants, and there was a federal judge issued them, and you got at least one guy correlating all this stuff via the supercomputers, and they themselves cost a lot of money, that, you know, and it's all from us, the taxpayers, who you're spying on. Now, Dick Cheney called him a traitor, you know, for releasing this information. It was classified, and, you know, he's a traitor. He's giving aid and abetting to the enemy, the terrorists. You know, Dick, you're a felon. You weren't charged, you weren't prosecuted, but you're damn sure a felon. Any of the rest of us would shoot a judge, a federal judge, in the face while you're duck hunting, or was it bunny rabbits? Either way, the judge was a hell of a lot bigger than the intended target. If there was a target, somebody yelled duck and you fired, was that it? Or you yelled to the judge, duck. What? Inquiring minds want to know. But a felon calling somebody a traitor is like the pot calling kettle black. You've been there first and foremost. You went with, you know, 911 happened on your watch too. Yes, you were just the feet, but it was your watch. And amazingly enough, now out of, what was it, 18 terrorists, 16 or 15 of them were from Saudi Arabia. One was from Kuwait. And I'm not sure about the other couple. But, you know, if we really think about this, somebody be fibbing, because Saudis still are our friends, but we've gotten rid of Iraq really good because it was the Iraqis did it. No, it was the Saudis who did it. But we're buddies, kissing cousins. Except, you know, they don't like gays there. They don't like blacks there. They're not real thrilled about Orientals there. Somehow, again, I'm wondering at this point exactly who the traitor is. Because in my mind, it sure as hell isn't Ed Snowden. And yes, Bob Schieffer, that's correct. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, a whole slew full of people stayed here. But then again, they weren't fighting the feds, they were fighting their state governments to make these guys read and listen, adhere to the Constitution, that all are created equal, in those days, men meant everybody, mankind. And yes, in those days, all mankind was created equal. It was the old-fashioned way. Plunger this. We didn't have artificial insemination back then. You didn't have cloning back then. You know, you didn't have all the test tubes and vials and petri dishes back then. Do you get it? I don't think so. You know, these are highly educated idiots. They really are. They're trying to usurp power, going directly against the Constitution of the United States of America. And then saying, oh, but, you know, to keep you safe and secure, you got to give up some of your rights. Or we can't do, well, no, of course you can't do that. You cannot 100% of the time guard against the idiot with a bomb, and bombs are notoriously easy to make. Anybody with the IQ of an earthworm can make a bomb. It goes boom, stuff flies out, kills a lot. You can't stop the occasional idiotic sniper either. Guns go boom, targets fall down. You cannot stop the loons, the crazies of the whole world, and especially not by tapping my phone. Skype was part of it, and they've come forward now because Snowden released the information about one company, and everybody else has jumped in. Now, Skype at least has made the government back up and come in for less on their warnings, because they were asking for innumerable stuff, and Skype said, we're going to give you this and this and this. And that's, by God, going to be it. And the government said, okay. Amazing, isn't it? And I don't know, and I use Skype. I don't know and I don't care if the government is researching my phone calls because I come on YouTube and bitch about them. I don't care. Does that make me a terrorist? I vote. Does that make me a terrorist? Because I'll tell you, flat out, anybody who's in, I'm voting against this November. Because, oh yeah, you claim you're really good, and Bernie Sanders, you are really good. But this should have been stopped at the inception, and I don't want to hear, I didn't know about it. You're a senator. You're one of the gang of 100. There's 100 senators at one time. It's the club of 100. The world's, it's also called, honest to God people, the world's most exclusive club. There's only 100 members at a time. It was you guys who authorized this, your intelligence committee, you know. So I really don't want to hear, we didn't know. You have lunch with these fellas. You have drinks with these fellows after hours. You damn well should have known. Sorry, that ain't cut it. Leahy, Welch, I'm voting against you guys too, because again, the House was in on it. Ho hum. And it ain't amazing. Here in Vermont, we get 2 senators, only 1 representative. Thankfully. We only have 1. It would be a real sin to have to pay for more. It would be a crime. And I think that would be, you know, the perfect message to all the states is 1 representative. Because especially states that have, you know, really, really, really big populations like New York, Texas, California. God only knows how many representatives you guys have. But I bet it's closing in on double figures. And I bet they cancel each other's votes out. So let's bring it back to more manageable numbers. Okay, every state gets 2 reps and 2 senators. Things will run a hell of a lot smoother. Because there's still just 1 prez. But it'll be tougher for everybody to keep a secret, hold a secret, and try to push this stuff by. Because this is flat out stuff. The government has no business on, I would venture, 95% of those phone calls to have collected them in the first place. But again, this costs a lot of money on the ostensible stuff. Oh, we're keeping you safe. I defy you to show me how. Just any of you. Snowden is a hero. Schiffer, Cheney, not so much. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's the Schmuck Look. Peace.